everyone, and welcome back to Rob's Movie Reviews. It's been a little while since I've uploaded a video. There's been a lot going on. I think y'all know what has kind of had everybody distracted for the last few weeks, and I haven't really had time to sit down and make a video because of things going on. I'm not going to mention what's been keeping me distracted and busy because it's kind of forbidden on YouTube to even say the words anymore. Everybody knows what I mean though. But anyway, I'm going to get away from that. I'm not here to complain about that. I'm here to talk about a movie that I like very much. It was the 1991 film released by MGM Studios, and it is the feature film debut of the very talented and then 14-year-old Reese Witherspoon. I'm talking about The Man in the Moon. This is a coming-of-age story about a young girl growing up in 1950s Deep South. I believe the story is set in the state of Mississippi. Reese Witherspoon plays a young girl by the name of Danny. She has a sister that's a few years older than her named Maureen, who is played by the very talented young Emily Warfield. Their parents are played by Sam Waterston and Tess Harper. The basic story is that Danny meets a young man named Court, who is played by Jason London, and she immediately develops a crush on him, and he reciprocates. It's easy to see that he is taken with Danny, and then after about a week of the two of them hanging out together and going down to the local little swimming hole there in the creek, Danny invites Court and his family over to their house for a cookout. And while there, Court meets Danny's older sister, Maureen, and just like that, Danny's tossed aside, and Court is just infatuated with Maureen, and she also likes him. So, of course, the friction then begins between Danny and Maureen, and the father, played by Sam Waterston, as I've already mentioned, tries to intervene and keep the sisters from bickering and fighting amongst themselves too much. But we all know how teenage girls can be when they both like the same guy. It's never going to end well. But it's a wonderful coming of age story. It's the two sisters are brought together in the end, and sadly it takes a terrible tragedy to bring them back together and to make them realize that the fighting and the bickering was silly, because they're sisters, they love one another, they're always going to be there for one another. And it's a sad story. It's heartwarming yet sad at the same time. I don't want to reveal too much in case you haven't seen this film, and there is a strong possibility you haven't. It did not do well at the box office. It did just slightly under a $3 million box office. I was unable to find out what the budget for the film was, but I'm guessing it had to be at least $3 million, if not more. So best case scenario, the movie broke even. I'm doubting that it did even that, which is a shame because it's a terrific film. It wasn't given any kind of international release. It was released in the United States only. It was shown around at a few film festivals in Europe, but that was about the extent of its overseas exposure. And like I said again, it's a shame because it was a wonderful film. Sam Waterston is incredible in the movie, as he always is. I've always been a huge fan of Sam Waterston's work, and I think he was outstanding in this film. The mother, played by Tess Harper, the mother was kind of reduced to a secondary role. Most of the interaction in the film is between Danny and her father and her sister, but most of the parent-child interaction is between Danny and the father. But it's a terrific movie. If you haven't seen it, you really should. If you like a good coming of age story, especially this one being from a female perspective, which is unfortunately not a common thing. There's some, I'm not saying there aren't any other female coming of age story films out there. There are, but they're so few and far between compared to how many there are of male characters. And it's kind of refreshing to see that a coming of age tale from a female perspective. I think you'd really enjoy the movie. It's some tremendous acting. The film was directed by Robert Mulligan. This also would be his last film. He would retire right after releasing this film. And like I said, it's just a great movie. It's heartwarming. It's sad. It's got a really strong message. I think you would really enjoy it if you're into those type of films. I think you would really enjoy this. So I'm going to wrap up this video by just saying I highly recommend Man in the Moon. And until next time, you all take care.